Hello, team. We want to thank you. I am Walina McGee. I am here with Toby with Tan Rides NEMT and Miss Leilani Kai, and I'll let her introduce her company here in just a moment. We are here to discuss the state of Texas. Woo, woo, woo. You guys have been awesome down there in Texas, and we know that the market down there is very challenging, and we are here to give the perspective of what's going on. So if you guys have any questions, you have any comments during our conversation, please make sure to leave your comments, your questions down in the box, the comment box, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe as we go on. All right, so let's get started, ladies. Let me make sure I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. It is. All right, so let's roll. So let's start out. Leilani, can you just kind of tell us a little bit about your background, where you came from, and why you chose to get into the NEMT industry, and a little bit about your company?
Yes, so my company's name is Greenlight Med Ride, and I have been a nurse for about 26 years. And my first job was, postpartum med surge. And then once I got into the hospital role, I realized the need that we had for using non-emergency medical transport. Um, Currently, in my hospital setting, I see a lot of um, wheelchair transports that are not available for our patients. So that had me thinking I need to do something for our community. And I think this is a great business to get into.
Awesome. I 100% agree, and I think especially as being nurses, we see that a lot, and we see that need and that desire, and want to help out in our community. Toby, how about you? Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your company?
Hello, my name is Toby. The name of our company is TAN Rides at Non-Emergency Transport. We're pronounced TAN Rides. My background, I am an adult geriatric nurse practitioner. I've been an adult geriatric nurse practitioner now for the last 7 years. The reason I decided to go into this, our business is a husband and wife team. My husband is not here. I represent the company. My husband and I both have our unique talents. My husband is in transportation and logistics business, and also he does dispatching. And I, as a healthcare provider, we decided to combine our talents and our strengths to create a non-emergency transport. And just like Leilani said, as a provider in clinic, a lot of the challenges that we see is patients having a hard time finding a safe, reliable transportation to come to clinic for their appointments. And the data out there shows if a patient does not get to their provider within 7 days of a hospital discharge, the chances of readmissions is much higher. So given that need and me seeing the challenges that patients are having is what kind of spurred that idea to have a non-emergency transport that could potentially serve our community. And that's how we located Miss Walina to take us on our journey and mentor us.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Those are both, and I love having the healthcare perspective, because a lot of times we don't get that during the interviews. But I'm in healthcare too. So being a dialysis nurse, during the pandemic, especially, it was very, very hard to watch our patients with a lack of transportation, because initially, at times when COVID first hit, especially, transportation providers were afraid to transport. They didn't know what it was. And so it was definitely a need there. And it caused something that we're going to talk about now, is that influx of providers into the market. And I really wanted to get into what the market space there in Texas looks like, as far as providers, what you're finding with your market research when you were looking into getting into NEMT, because I know that's just a surface area with healthcare and all of that, those things. What have you discovered about the actual industry that you would like others to have a better understanding of? Either one.
Okay, I can start. the industry is very challenging to get into. And like Walina said, Texas is a very hot area, demographic wise, where you have a lot of transportation companies on the road. But one thing I know is, as a person of faith doing this business, what is mine is mine. As long as I know that my heart is pure as far as delivering excellent care to patients and the intention behind the project is solid, I know that I'll be able to carve a niche for myself in this industry. So I'm moving in faith and also working with that level of excellence that I intend to achieve when providing the service for the patients is what drives me. Even though I want to be aware of what the competition is doing, it doesn't necessarily stop me from what I'm trying to accomplish. So I move forward in spite of.
How about you, Leilani?
I agree. It is very challenging in Texas, especially in our area, the Central Texas area, because there are several different companies out there. But I think there is opportunity, and you just continue to do the best you can. I think one of the struggles was for me is the Medicaid process and getting on that. I'm still kind of working through that right now, and guess once that's through, then we'll kind of see what's going ahead. But I just really encourage people to maybe do that process before getting vans and things like that, and hiring people, because you don't have that income coming in to support the insurance, the van, and also pay your driver. So I think just working through that process. And Walina, you've done a great job. You've even told me several times, slow your roll, because I just wanted to kind of jump ahead, but you're able to kind of rein me back in and say, let's get these things done first. So I really appreciate that.
I'm glad. I'm glad. And I have my phone on Do Not Disturb, and that child of mine still can get through. How about you, Toby? What have you found in the industry?
As far as challenges?
Yes, as far as challenges.
There's been lots of challenges along the way. I think the most recent has been the SAM.gov process, and trying to navigate that, a lot of denials and kickbacks in that process. And like Leilani said, the process of MTP, which is Medicaid transportation process, that was also challenging because the application is not as clear cut. So you will meet some stumbling blocks, and oftentimes you have to get on a call, reach out to the customer service, and then schedule you an appointment via virtual to have the person assist you and walk you through the process. So a scheduling conflict there might exist because we all still work. So those two processes are quite challenging and quite cumbersome, but through all that, you still have to remain focused on what you're trying to accomplish. I know many times I've called Walina as well, kind of like freaking out and like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm so sick and tired. And she just has this knack of talking you off the ledge and calming you. And I have to say, guys, one thing I have been aware of throughout starting a business is that you have to spend money to make money. If you are not willing to invest in the success of your enterprise, you will not succeed. Walina has been the best investment my husband and I have made throughout this process. Talk about not getting involved in costly mistakes. There's lots of people who have gone through this process who have paid very dearly and still not been able to accomplish the steps that we have accomplished. So it has been a worthy investment in having Walina help us navigate the challenges that we have encountered throughout this process. And I know it's still going to be, even though there'll be challenges, we're all going to surmount each and every one of them.
I agree.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. And that's what it's all about. It's definitely, like I say, is that when you've never done something, you need somebody that has done it, before, and who has went through the process and understands the process and can help you, especially like me. I made every mistake that there could possibly be. And I bumped every head that I could have and lost all the money I could have. And I tell everybody, I thank the Father that my daughter, who is now is a biochem major, has a full ride scholarship because I lost all her money. She had nothing. So I'm so grateful that she was able to receive a blessing even through my lack of knowledge. But I do want to circle back a little bit and talk more about this application, because I know that is a big stumbling block about this application. I know, Toby, you're at this spot, I think, where you're looking at insurance. And can you talk a little bit about what those rates are looking like, and the challenges with finding insurance for your NEMT? And Leilani, too, if you've had any of those issues too, I want to hear everything.
So as far as insurance, we're at the process now where we're trying to get our business insurance, which is the general liability, professional conduct insurance. And then once we have our vehicles, which hopefully that should be happening in the next 1 to 2 weeks, work on commercial insurance. It has been challenging getting providers to get you a quote. Either they require you to have the experience, and I believe what we've been told is 2 to 3 years of industry experience, or there's nobody in the Texas local market. And so this is working with people like Next. That's one of the ones I've reached out to that I got that message from. They couldn't find me a provider willing to cover us. But we have gone to brokers in the areas, like a walking appointment to sit face to face with a broker, because it doesn't seem to me that the virtual brokers are successful in finding us coverage. And Melina has kind of given us directive of other companies that we can work with. So this week will be the week where we try to finalize the process. Friday was when we met with a broker in person, so he hasn't quite gotten back to us with quotes yet. I know we've been communicating with him throughout the weekend, which thankfully we have a broker who we can do that with. And he tells us that perhaps by next week, we'll start to have some quotes come in so that we can have a competitive analysis of what we have on ground. But it has been challenging trying to find somebody who would take on a new startup company as far as coverage. What helps is the fact that my husband and I do have separate industry experiences that we're merging together. So that kind of helps us. But just know that that's a challenge that you might come across.
Gotcha. And what about you, Leilani? What have you discovered? And you've got your van. You had that wonderful blessing of having the van just basically dropped in your lap on yours. So you've had that since day one.
Yes, ma'am. I do have the van, and it wasn't very difficult getting insurance because I went through a military portal, and they were able to lead me. But I have a friend of mine that also has a non-emergency medical transport company, and the rates around this area, because she's also from Dallas too. She's been in Dallas and she's in the Central Texas area, and the rates are about $6,500 per year for vehicles. She has 2 vehicles, and she pays about $13,000 per year. So that's kind of the rates that we found. So it wasn't difficult at first, just because I went through that portal. And the thing is, the challenge is, finding the driver where, with those rates, those are people that have great driving records, no accidents. Of course, if you have somebody with, slight tainted something on their driving record, the rates can skyrocket to $15,000. So it just kind of depends. But luckily, some of the drivers that I've looked at so far have had really good driving records. So the price has been around, $6,500.
Oh, I have a question for Leilani. So it depends on your driver's record, not the company?
Right. So when it is a new startup, and I didn't really have any problems with that. It was adding drivers on every time I added a driver. The first 4 drivers I added on, the rates never changed. Once I added another driver, it went up a little bit, not much. I think it went up $50 for the year. So she was actually impressed. She's like, she hardly ever sees that, because usually it can skyrocket depending. Younger people, of course, is going to drive the rates extremely high. It looks like anywhere between 40 to 50, the rates are a little bit better. 70, just slightly higher, but especially the young, if you're looking at young drivers, that's what I think raises that rate. I am looking at a driver. He is pretty young. I haven't even checked to see what it's going to be. And they check for you. They don't, they'll check the driver and then take it off. So it's doesn't affect the rate, but he's 23. And so I'm going to kind of see what that's going to do with the rate. So, but I've noticed, like I said, middle age, it's the rates are pretty good.
Yeah, we definitely, I just had a video too on insurance, and I think I had Nico reach out to you, Toby, but I don't think he had anyone in the area.
Mm-hmm.
But they were discussing in that video, we talk about the different, what is it called, healthcare transportation versus the commercial, which is a little bit more expensive, but the coverage is a little bit better. So I'm hoping and I'm praying that that will start to open up, especially as more providers get educated to, especially with being in healthcare, that we might be able to qualify for healthcare transportation with a little bit better rates than with commercial insurance. But I think it's going to be everyone kind of coming together on that. So
I do have a question for Toby.
Mm-hmm.
Toby, you've already gone through the Medicaid process where you're then looking at different Medicaid providers, or have you gotten to that?
The process I'm at right now is the fees paid, and they sent me a information to correct some stuff on my application and resubmit. So I've resubmitted. So we're still in the review process.
Okay, that's exactly where I am too. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are both y'all neck and neck right there. Everybody's ready to roll. Can you tell everyone about the process of working with a mentor? That would be great. And then hold on just 1 second. If you guys, I see you guys are on there, like, share, and subscribe. And I see you, YOL2000. Thank you for being here. Drop a comment in the comment section. All right, ladies. Now tell us about your mentorship journey and how I know that we went a little bit into it, but how that experience has helped based on, in comparison to some others that you may have seen. The experience.
Well, I can just say I was all over the place. I know when I was all over the place, and I told you when I was looking through videos and I saw you, Alina, my soul felt connected to you. And I was like, she's amazing. I can just tell by your videos, you're not out there just to make videos just to get views. Like, you were really trying to help. And so that's why I contacted you. And you've been just my angel because, like I said, I was all over the place. You helped kind of streamline me. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the basics and do this properly. And just your wisdom, your knowledge, just you guiding me through has just given me such peace of mind. And I feel like I'm at the point now I'm ready to go. So yeah, your mentorship has been invaluable. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Me too. I'm glad. It's been a wonderful experience with both of you. So yeah. And how about you, Toby? Your mentorship journey?
Mentorship has been phenomenal. As a nurse, we do understand the importance of mentorship, and a nurse is an educator. So I always knew that I needed a guide throughout the process, because that kind of helps you through navigating when there are stumbling blocks and roadblocks. Somebody who's had the experience and they were able to troubleshoot through the process and come to a solution. So when I started this journey, I knew that I needed to find somebody. And if you go to YouTube, there's lots and lots of people on there. But Walina stood out in the sense of how she connected with me through the screen. I did not know this woman, but I knew that she had a message, and the message was quite powerful. So I reached out to her. I was still uncertain. I told my husband. My husband's like, we could do this by ourselves. My husband is African. But I knew that we needed help. And one thing that I was very, very proactive about is that the fact that I'm getting into my 40s and I cannot afford to make costly mistakes. That was my biggest thing. I can't afford to be that person that spends $25,000, I still make no headway. That's my college education for my children. I couldn't do that. So I reached out to her. Her prices are very, very reasonable for what you are getting. And the hand holding, I'm going to say hand holding that you're getting. And the middle of the night freak out. Oh my God, this is happening. And she's like, calm down. To have that level of access, you don't get that with anybody else at all. So working with her has been truly, truly, truly a blessing. And I know it just gets better from on. So that's why when she asked if we could come, I am a nervous Nelly. But just how much he's poured into my husband and I know Lonani feels the same. I knew that I had to come. So here we are.
I am so grateful. I just am so glad that you guys saw the value in it, because I can tell you it is so disheartening. One thing that I find so disheartening is like I have when I get those phone calls with individuals like literally who call me and say, I have 6 vehicles, I have insurance payments, and I'm like, okay, what's your website? And they have no website. Okay, what about a contract? Oh, I have no contract. And like just my heart is pounding. And and I'm like, okay, well, we need to get you started like right away. And they're still afraid to take the investment with me. And I'm like, come on now. You bought 6 vehicles and 6 insurance and you're about to go under. I need you to take this mentorship. Let's get you going. Let's get you right. But, not everyone sees the value. So like I said, I just thank Holy Spirit that he gave it to y'all, that y'all see it and you ready to roll. And talking about that, where are you headed? I know we talk about getting the Medicaid, but what are your next steps? How far out are you from getting this thing wrapped up?
Well, as far as the Medicaid, they can't tell me how long that process is going to be. She said the next step will be once the first process. She said it's a 2-step. Mm-hmm. The next thing is to meet with different Medicaid providers like Superior, United Healthcare, Medicaid to kind of see those contracts. And so I'm just waiting to see. She said she's not going to give me a date because she thinks I'm going to hold her to it. But I'm thinking maybe a couple of weeks once everything goes through. Once, they send you things back to fix the deficiencies. So once that's done, I'm thinking a couple of weeks and then go to phase 2.
And so just for me to clarify, there in Texas, you all do your own billing through Medicaid, correct? Is that how that works?
I don't know. She's going to, when the next step happens, she's going to, tell me how that process goes. Okay. I'm not 100% sure.
I think we're all at that same step where we're like, okay, what happens next? Because we're all in this together. So we'll have to back up and tell everybody how that process goes. But yeah, so if you guys could give, I'm going to open it up for questions, guys. I don't think there's too many in the chat right now, but I know as soon as this finishes airing, then I'll get all these questions on this video, which would be beautiful too.
I just wanted to kind of piggyback on the last questions where you asked what the benefits are. The biggest thing I would say about the benefits is the steps. Like, you are preventing us from skipping steps and being ahead when we should not have even gone there. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people bought their vehicles, but they haven't done step 1 to 6. And you have a vehicle payment, you have all these things. Oh my gosh, that freaks me out so much. Even though I've come so far, we just literally bought our vehicle last week. 6 months in the making, just bought our vehicle last week. And that was us making sure that we had money in hand, funding secured. We have all the other things in place with the SAM.gov application, reaching out to Apex Accelerator, getting ourselves in the queue to be contacted on how we can fix that. So we have a bunch of things in place before we got to the car buying. So the importance of having Melina is that she makes sure you do not skip steps. It is sequential, it is chronological, and you will flow nicely. So again, back to this thing, you will not make costly mistakes. Now with us, the step that we're at, waiting on our insurance. That's where we're at right now. We're waiting to get insurance quotes. Working on our social media presence. That's very difficult for me. Working on our social media presence is so challenging for me. I'm trying to get used to this new advent, this new age that we're in, where everything has to be done by social media. It's a change for me, but I'm trying to get comfortable with it. And I believe today was the first step in that, trying to get comfortable on a social media platform. So getting the social media pushed out, getting the website optimized to be able to take on ride scheduling, working with a bunch of people as far as making sure all the members of the team, interdisciplinary team, is working.
Just like care planning, ain't it?
That nursing is coming in, members of the interdisciplinary team.
That's right. That's right. That's it.
It's coming together to make sure it works. So that's where we're at right now with Tan Rides.
That's right. That's right. Well, that I tell you, ladies, you guys have done an awesome job. We do have a question. We had, is it I don't want to mess up anybody's name because I know how hard it is to say my name, but it's Namadi. Is that right? Nnamdi. But she says, nice work. And so round of applause to both of you because I know that Texas area, woo, it's hard. It's hard. I'm not going to bring Florida into it, but I'm going to bring Florida in. Between Florida and Texas, boy, y'all hard. Y'all hard. Y'all hard. But the one thing that I'm going to say, excuse me, the one thing that I want to say to our viewers and our audience about if you're going into Texas is that how important it is to niche down and how important it is to be very specific on the target market that you are going after. You know, that so many providers are coming into the industry, and I talk about that hamster wheel of providers that come in and then they circle right back out. And it's because, guys, as minorities, we coming in and we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're not set up and we're ruining the industry. I mean, it's a sad thing. We're coming in here thinking that we're trying to make money and hustle and grind. But because we're taking shortcuts and we're not set up properly, we are setting ourselves up to have jobs rather than to be business owners. And we can't continue to do that. It's so important to take each step by step, to start where you are. You know, if you don't have good credit, you know, get your credit fixed. You know, if you don't have money saved up, get your money saved up. This opportunity is always going to be there as long as we have an aging population, but getting it done correctly is the most important thing. And so YOL 2000 said, is the first step to acquire a commercial license. I've not made any monetary investment because I feel like I need that license first. Now, it's going to depend on your state. I think you said that you're in California and you want to start with your own vehicle doing ambulatory to begin with. Now, y'all know how I feel about ambulatory. Y'all want to answer that? I can say it till I'm blue in the face, but nobody want to hear me. Maybe y'all can tell them.
So they're talking about ambulatory,
Cool.
like stretcher, or they're just talking about
like a car.
The walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkies.
Oh,
They want to go in with the ambulatory vehicle.
I mean, that to me is I would think that'd be more difficult just because just with Uber and everything out there. I don't know how California works, but I think that's okay. But it's just very, very common, I think, for everybody using ambulatory. So I don't know much about it though. I've never just been interested in that, just because to me it's just that to me is extremely competitive. So
Mm-hmm. How about you, Toby? What are your thoughts on the ambulatory?
I think what Melina is referencing is the fact that ambulatory can be done by any and everybody. So if you're actually serious about creating an entrepreneur business, you have to pare down what your idea is for, or what your vision is for your business. So if you want to start that way, maybe financially that's what you can afford, but you have to think about your longevity as far as that is concerned. Um, is this something that you're thinking about as a side hustle, or are you actually trying to turn this in a full-fledged business with good productivity and service to your community? So I think that is what she's referencing. I think the thought process behind that is to do your research about what you're getting yourself into and decide if this is actually what you want to do. And if that is it, you should have a diversification of services that you're offering, not just ambulatory services, but services that can meet at least 2 or 3 demographics in your community so that you're more in demand.
That's right. That's right. And there is definitely the goal is to purchase a modified van. And that is a great goal. Here is my response to that. Wait. Wait, wait, wait. Wait until you can come to the point in your finances that you can purchase that modified van. Because what's going to happen, I love Alicia, and she's in Illinois. We just got off the phone yesterday and she was telling me she's running it. They're getting it going. But she already has her van in the shop, and it was no fault of her own, and it's literally been a month and it's already been in the shop, and the shop couldn't even fix it. She had to get her brother to come in there and to fix it, and this is less than, what she started running in April, so almost 2 months. She's already got that vehicle in the shop. So when you're looking at a vehicle like a car running trips with ambulatory patients, you're going to be running that car down. So you have to be prepared to scale up to a different type of vehicle very, very quick. Look, there goes Tasif. Y'all see Tasif in there? He says, soon there will be our NEMT startup coach upcoming product, which will help to manage the online presence and reputation of NEMT business, integration of social media, Google business profile management, auto review collections with text, email marketing, paid ads, leads collection on our upcoming NEMT market. But okay. Look, he tell me when we gonna have on live. Go ahead. I love Tosi. All right, don't miss any private paid clients. That's what I'm talking about. You are so welcome. Just like I said, be patient. Wait for that funding. If your credit's not right, get it right. Being in business is not just about having that vehicle and that insurance. It's really about the processes that are involved, and there's a lot of processes involved. Even with the ladies here tonight, they're moving into the next process of ads and running ads and marketing themselves and branding. Because if you're not running ads on your business, nobody knows you're there. So, are there any other questions? I see we got some more individuals here. Any more questions, comments? We in Texas now. This is your time to shine. Anything, ladies, that you guys would like to input, share? It wasn't too bad, was it?
no. I do want to just, again, starting the process from the beginning and not to jump ahead, which is what I did. I just jumped ahead and just starting from the beginning, and with your guidance, Melina, just step by step, I feel like it really could be successful.
Good. I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's a tough world out there. It really is. Um,
I think some of the social media has a positive and negative side to it. What my observation is that with the amount of publicity that the non-emergency transportation service industry has received in the last 1 to 3 years, people have been pushing a lot of content that makes it seem that anybody can just go up and do this. Just go in there and buy your car and get on the road and start picking up clients. And it's not like that. Please, I advise anybody who's on this social media streets, do your due diligence. Take the information that you see and do your due diligence. This is a business. Nobody allows you to just go out there and just start. There is a process to it. You can choose to do the research, make the mistakes, and come out of the other side of it. Or you can pay somebody who has the requisite knowledge to lead you through the steps so that you can come out on the other side of it. You have to pick one. You cannot take information that you get from YouTube that says, this is so easy. Anybody, their mama, their grandchildren, their 5-year-old can do this. You please don't let them sell you that pipe dream. Please, whatever you do requires time, effort, energy, and you have to be patient with it. If you're not ready for that, please don't get into business. There's nothing wrong with being an employee. I've been an employee. I've been in healthcare since 2006. It took me 17 years to decide I no longer want to be an employee. I want to be an employer. There's nothing wrong with being an employee. Whenever is your morning, in my culture, we say whenever is your morning is your morning. So if it's not time yet, relax, pay your dues, get what you need. If it's financial resources, if it's the money to pay a mentorship or a core coach, a class, do the work, and then get into business ownership.
I can't stress that importance enough, because it is, I had to learn the hard way, unfortunately. And that is why I pour everything I can into you guys. And, and not everyone is successful. Like even now, I have those who I coached, and that's why I don't do too much coaching anymore, because I think that you can give someone too much information and it actually harm them because they're not going through that full process with me. So I've had to even rearrange that, because I've seen, where one of those that I've coached, they're struggling because of the advertising element, not, being a little resistant on going ahead and putting that investment behind the advertising. And, and I'm stressing, you got to. And then another one of my coaches, she's in the process of getting ready to sell her van. I'm going to help her sell her van because, again, she didn't want to get up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning and run trips for motive care. She didn't want to do it, and nothing that she did wrong with her business. She set up everything pretty much right and, had everything going. She was with the brokers. But when it comes to, a schedule, and you've got a good schedule, and you realize as a business owner, that's not the schedule that you necessarily have all the time. It's a reality, and that can have you close your business. So everyone has to remember that, even for me as a coach and as a business consultant, I literally put probably 40 to 60 hours into this business alone. And my return on investment is over time. It's over time. I have to wait for your success for me to be able to really share with everyone, so that everyone can see how good it is, how good the service is, and that they need it. So it's a lot of investment, a lot of research, and things that go into teaching you guys to be entrepreneurs. And so I just ask everyone, take advantage of the material that I'm putting up in the membership sections on market research. Take advantage of my new course that's going to be coming out for NEMT foundations. That's going to be coming out soon. And, find a mentor or a coach that you can trust. It doesn't have to be me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. But you need to find somebody that can help walk you through this process. So I just want to say thank you, ladies, for being here. I appreciate your time. This was amazing. You guys did an awesome job. Oh, Toby, can you give everyone that NAICS code? Because I know that both you and Leilani were talking about that NAICS code for that Texas application that they will need.
It's 485119.
No, not that one. I'm sorry, not the NAICS code.
Which one?
The one for the Texas application. Remember, we were trying to get
the MTB app that what's such a hard time getting. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Can you share what that is and let everyone know what that number is so they can have that for their research?
Oh, it's the taxonomy code.
That's right.
Yes, it's 343-90-0000 and the letter X as in xylophone.
Look, Leilani's like, yeah, we all remember that.
Terrible. It's terrible.
I was researching too. I was like, I can't find. I was throwing out numbers everywhere I could find. I was looking at 6 codes. I was like, what are they wanting? I had no idea. So Toby found it for us, and I want to say thank you. We were able to move forward. So, all right, with that, I just want to say thank you all for being here. Looks like we got some viewers in, but I don't want to hold up too much of your time. I want to say thank you again for being on and being courageous and stepping out of your comfort zone and feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Congratulations.
Melania, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you, Toby.
All right. And you guys got each other's numbers in the messages. So y'all link up, network for sure. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.